Hey, it's MJ from the Selling the ATL Studios, and today we're going to talk about Sales Killer 4. But have you ever seen the movie with Haley Joel Osment and Bruce Willis, The Sixth Sense? It's where the little kid sees dead people. I've never actually seen dead people in a house that I was showing, although my Spidey senses have been on edge periodically, so it's a little creepy. But that's not usually what keeps a house from selling. It's usually one of the other things in Sales Killer number 4, which is offending the other 5 senses of the body. So what I mean by that is when people come to see your house to buy it, typically they're not doing it with a blindfold on, they're not doing it with a clothespin on their nose, and they're not doing it with earplugs. So they're experiencing your house with all 5 senses. So you want to be aware of what their 5 senses are sensing when they come in. And what I mean by that, I'll just kind of run down the list of them. First is sight. If your house is cluttered, if you have trendy paint on the wall, if you have family photos everywhere that cover the entire area of the wall, people notice that. I know it shouldn't matter, but it does, because they're trying to see your house, and if you have all this stuff up, they're noticing that, and they're not noticing the fireplace. They're not noticing the amount of light that's coming in the great room. They're not noticing the amount of space that you have in your master bedroom. They're noticing all that other stuff, and you don't want anything up that's going to be counterproductive for them experiencing your house and putting themselves in your house when they're trying to buy it. And the fact is, you're moving anyway, so pack all that stuff up, paint it a neutral color, stick everything in the garage, and let people experience your house and let them have the positive experience of seeing all the benefits of your house instead of what you guys did last summer. So that moves into hearing. Now, a lot of people have dogs, and I get that. I got 2 of my own, so I don't hate anybody for that. But my dogs they bark when strangers come in the house or when they're coming up to the house. And when you're showing a house, even if they're nice dogs, even if they wouldn't hurt a flea, if they bark the whole time, it is terribly, terribly annoying. And when people leave, they're talking to me about your house. They're saying, oh yeah, the house with the dog that barked all the time instead of the house with the really, really cool kitchen, right? So you want them to remember your house as the one with the really cool kitchen, not the negative emotion of the annoying dog barking the whole time. So whenever possible, take Fluffy out of the house and let the people see the house without her. Worst case, if you can put them somewhere where if they are going to bark, it's a little bit subdued, because, again, you don't want to be the house that the dog barked all the time. The next thing is kind of segues in is smell. So sometimes Fluffy doesn't just leave the noise. Sometimes she leaves an odor. And in fact, sometimes I've walked to a house, I've had this happen where I've walked to a house, opened up the front door, and the odor was so bad that the buyers didn't even want to walk in. Now, the fact is, I know that you can fix that. You can fix that pretty easily, but some people cannot get past it. If they smell something that offends their odor or their smelling, they just can't get past it, and they're not gonna look in your house. And now you've just wasted that opportunity to show how great your house is. So make sure your house smells fresh. Make sure it smells clean. There is a tactic that you can use that actually puts smell in your favor. If you hit reply on the email that I sent to you, I'll send that over to you and tell you what it is. The next thing is taste. Now you may be saying, well, if I'm not selling a gingerbread house, what does taste have to do with anything? But the fact is that smell is very, very closely tied to taste. And if you don't believe me and you like bacon, walk past a restaurant that's cooking bacon and tell me what happens to your mouth. It probably starts watering, right? So it does matter. So just keep that in mind. And then the last thing is touch. When people come into your house, they touch things. They rub their hands across the countertops in the kitchen. And if it's granite countertops, nice and smooth. But if they find some leftover syrup from the morning breakfast, kind of a turnoff. Or if they're rubbing their hands across the windows or opening up the windows and there's dust all over the place, it's a turnoff. So make sure that you have everything wiped down. Make sure you have everything dusted. You can get somebody to do that for you, or you can do it yourself. It's something that's very, very easy. So I wanted to kind of talk in line with those 5 senses. A lot of people will ask me, Mark, what is the thing that I can do that will give me the biggest bang for my buck when selling a home? And I tell them this. They're always waiting for me to tell them, add space or upgrade the kitchen or upgrade the bathroom. But really, the biggest bang for your buck is making sure that your house is clean and tidy. There is no better way to sell a house than make sure that it's clean, smells good, it's tidy, everything's nice, it shows well. that's where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck, and it almost costs nothing to do unless you want to pay somebody to do it. It's just a little bit of effort. But if you're trying to sell your house and you're listening to these sales killers that I'm giving you, your house is probably going to sell pretty quick anyways. So it won't be a long process, and that's where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. So that is sales killer number 4. Be on the lookout for sales killer number 5. It's a good one too. This is MJ from Selling the ATL, and I'm out.